Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Blowout Sports Podcast. I'm Ryan Hayes.
And I'm Dylan Bracha.
We had a very wacky week in the NFL.
Wacky indeed. That's a good way to phrase it.
Wacky. We saw a lot of backup quarterbacks getting a lot of play. It started off with Malik Willis.
Yeah, in London.
Yeah.
Tannehill down.
He doesn't look too good.
No.
I just got to say it.
Malik, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, Will Levis could have had the chance, but
Yeah.
he was inactive for the game.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, he didn't look too good in there. And then we saw some other backups. Tyrod Taylor got the start for the Giants.
How great was Tyrod Taylor, though? Like, he didn't do anything wrong.
I mean, he played a very Tyrod
Against
Taylor-esque game.
It was against a really good Bills defense.
Oh, absolutely.
And scheme. Regardless of injuries they have, he put the ball where it needed to be every time he threw it deep. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to the Giants for hanging in there. Really.
Yeah, they had a game.
Yeah, and P.J. Walker going from being cut by the Chicago Bears to the starter of the Cleveland Browns beating the undefeated San Francisco 49ers. That's crazy how things can turn for you.
Well, he didn't play, like, exceptional, but he made plays that helped him win that game.
I mean, to put it in perspective, it's almost like a month and a half ago he's cut from the Bears.
This isn't long for him getting cut, from the Panthers and everything.
Good turnaround.
Crazy.
I've always been a big fan of him.
I love his game.
Yeah.
I really do.
Absolutely. Aiden O'Connell got some burn because Garoppolo got taken to the hospital.
Yeah, well, he didn't play this week, but it was Brian Hoyer.
Oh, it was Hoyer, right.
It was Hoyer.
My bad.
But he did play a couple weeks.
Hoyer.
That's why I was surprised we didn't see him.
Yeah.
But Hoyer played terrible for the dinosaur that he is.
Oh, wow.
And in the same game, Mac got benched again. We saw Malik Cunningham's NFL debut. He didn't look that great.
Yeah.
But, I mean, then again, you got thrust into a situation that you're not probably fully prepared for. He got signed, like, the day before.
Right.
And then they put Mac back in to get a safety on him. So, I mean, hey.
So was it like a performance thing, or has Belichick really said? Or?
I'm not sure. I mean, Mac has not played good. He didn't look good in that game. The whole team is just a mess.
Yeah, the Patriots, they are a tough one to watch.
Yeah, they really are.
We'll see with Cunningham though. He could be fun.
I mean, if they start him next game, I mean, they've got Miami and Buffalo coming up. Two hard teams. But I don't know. Everybody keeps saying Mac gives them the best chance at winning, and if that's their best chance at winning, then my goal of not winning another game might come true. So fingers crossed.
Another backup getting the win, Zach Wilson.
Yeah, who saw that coming?
Right. Yeah.
Not us.
No, definitely not.
And the first time the Jets have ever beaten the Eagles.
That's wild. That's wild. Those
believe it.
old franchises never win.
Yeah.
It was a good win. I mean, that Jets defense is tough, and I know everyone's saying it, but
that was no Sauce Gardner, no DJ Reed either.
Yeah.
The top two corners out.
But what could have been with this Jets team if they had
Aaron Rodgers already on the field throwing the football. That's a sight I wouldn't want to see. Like as a Jets fan, like I just don't want him to rush this and cripple himself for life. Like he thinks he can clear this in record times.
He wants to come back this year.
Yeah. I don't know the logistics of that. I'm not a doctor, and if I was, I think I would say slow down.
He says he wants to manifest it. He
does.
He really said that.
I know I believe you. I can't see it. Yeah. I don't know in what world he can get healthy at his age that fast.
He really believes that he can mind over matter this thing. But
what psychedelics is he on right now?
I don't know. I'm not even trying to like thrash. I mean, that is essentially what he was saying. Like he is doing the rehab. It was a new surgery and stuff, but that is part of his process, and it's interesting to me.
I mean, he's progressed very fast, but like, is he going too fast that he's gonna?
It's a fair question.
More.
I mean, I was kind of wondering it myself. Yeah. I mean, the Achilles was completely torn.
Yeah.
Now he's walking, throwing footballs, and hopefully it's all good. I mean, I'm sure he has really good doctors in his corner. I don't think he's not just like going out and doing his own thing. Like he definitely has.
Somebody's in his ear telling him he can do this. Yeah, I imagine, because I don't think he would say it if he wasn't having somebody told him. But I don't know.
Yeah.
How about this? Gardner Minshew made a start for the Anthony Richardless Colts. He didn't play too good until the end. He fired it up, but Colts historically haven't been playing well in Indy these last couple seasons, and that trend continued this week.
Yeah, they were playing from behind the whole game.
Yeah.
3 interceptions, 55 attempts for Minshew. That's
Crazy.
When you're getting 55 attempts out of Minshew, I don't think that's usually a recipe for success. But
It was nuts.
I like Minshew, but he's gonna play within the scheme and in situations unlike that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to make any crazy plays there. A tough game for the Colts. I don't know if that's the best matchup for them against the Jags. The Jags are pretty good, especially on the defensive
Their
side.
defense looks great.
Yeah, they got a good front. Oluwaquan and
Josh Allen.
Yeah. And who's that? Trayvon Walker.
Yeah,
I like what they got going. Jags are a tough team, and hopefully Lawrence can stay healthy. I kind of root for him in general.
Well, good news for him. He's only day to day.
Day-to-day.
So it's not a serious thing. I think they were saying it's a sprain.
Yeah.
Nothing more serious than that, which, I mean, sprains aren't fun.
No.
But that is good news for him.
Yeah, if not, it'll be C.J. Beathard. So
I don't think I would want to rock
you
behind
want
him
to
too
avoid
long.
that if possible. In other injury news, we got, T-Law. The Jags were optimistic about what they saw in the MRI.
That's good.
Justin Fields is doubtful against the Raiders already. It's interesting to get that indication this early. But so what they want to see him be able to grip the ball. He's not able to do that. He dislocated his thumb.
Yeah, that's it's just throwing hand, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's tough to do if you don't got a thumb.
Yeah,
you're not gripping the ball.
Yeah, if not, it'll be Tyson Bagent,
Oof.
who got in. Yeah, he made his debut. He fumbled.
I bet they wish they still had PJ Walker now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was like, wow, now you have Bagent and PJ Walker is beating the 49ers. That's pretty Bears. I was like, that seems about right. McCaffrey, they're waiting on the oblique MRI. They keeping it close to the vest. I've seen some rumblings that he might be going, might not. It seems actually 50-50 on that one.
That's good. I know Debo and Trent Williams,
They
the same
seem
Niners.
okay.
They're day to day, and
Day-to-day.
they look positive for playing.
Better
next game.
outlook than McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Daniel Jones, he said, good news. His neck is feeling a lot better.
Oh,
so
I'm
that's
so
good.
glad.
That's
I think
really
if
good.
the Giants were smart, I'd just tire out a couple more games. Let's see what they can do.
I mean, when his neck is feeling better, he put that out there.
He did put it out
that
there.
That is
I think he's a
information.
little nervous. His job might be in jeopardy.
Yeah,
He's got the money though, so who cares?
I'm glad that his neck is feeling
Yes,
better.
me as
for
well.
sure. Josh Allen, day to day. We said that.
That's no, we didn't.
Oh, we did not
That's
say that.
interesting.
Okay,
I don't
well.
know what's the injury.
Hold on. It was a shoulder. It was a shoulder injury.
Again,
Yeah.
this was something he dealt with last year.
I'm guessing he probably just tried to truck somebody. I don't actually know. It seems on character for him.
I know he went into the tent during the game, but I thought that was for concussion.
I don't know. I saw a shoulder.
It was so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a shoulder issue now.
Quick little.
He went into the tent. Kyle Allen came in for one play, handed it off, and Josh Allen came trotting back out.
Yeah, he's tough.
He is a tough guy.
I'm guessing he's going to keep it.
I think he'll be playing, yeah.
David Montgomery's going to miss some time here, and Jahmyr Gibbs is leaning towards playing, so the Jahmyr Gibbs fantasy owners can rejoice.
Yes.
It might be his time.
Crazy because David Montgomery's been playing so well.
Yeah.
And so that's very, very tough for him and the Lions as a whole. Because, I mean, when you got a good, successful, running back going, you don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this could be good for Gibbs and the Lions as a whole. I know this is crazy to
Definitely
say, but
gonna
I
be
think
good
this
for him.
could benefit the team in a way, just moving forward, unlock Gibbs, get his confidence going.
Well, he's going to be the featured back.
Yeah, and
at
then when
some
you
point.
then you get Montgomery back, and you're like, oh, we have
Two-headed
these
monster.
two, guys who are going, and they're different enough running backs that they complement each other. Very
It's
well.
a great scheme.
Yeah.
You have a power back in Montgomery,
Yeah.
and then you got
Gibbs is
elusive,
fast, but he's still very
catch the ball.
strong.
Yeah.
Like, he's still like everything you want in a pass catcher. He's an all-around threat. So I got a question though. That's it for the injury news for the most part. But I got a question I want to pose to you, a Patriots fan. Is it time to bench Mac Jones?
It was time probably 2 games ago, but I'm at the point where if you're a Pats fan like me, you got to accept the fact the season's done. There's no coming back from this.
Right.
you're getting blown out left and right, and then you're losing to teams with backups in that we've seen Brian Hoyer. He's not that great anymore. You know, he can't throw the ball that much. You know, they like defensively, they're crippled. You know, that there are a lot of injuries there that you're dealing with, and then offensively, it's not there. There is no spark that's going for them. The run game finally looked a little bit better, but like, what are you gonna do when that's not like if you don't get both, they're not winning a game. I don't think Mac's the guy for them, and I say this with a lot of respect to Mac. I think he can go somewhere after this and be a successful quarterback. Like, he's not done at this point, but I think like going forward, you need a different quarterback for the Patriots. And I'm not talking this year. I'm talking next year. You got to look to the future that way. Let's not mess up a good draft pick and win a couple games you shouldn't. Just play these games out with Mac, with Zappy. It doesn't matter. Don't win them, though.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine the Patriots picking in the top 5, but that's where they're headed right now.
And, I mean, that would be good for them.
Yeah.
Because if they get a good enough player that can, like, revitalize the offense, then they're okay because they have a star-stunning defense on the other side of the ball. Like, They don't have to be perfect on offense yet, but, like, if you get the right pieces and move the ball in the right direction, they're right back to being a top team in the AFC.
Yeah, I just came to Belichick's always been so reluctant to get those weapons on offense.
He has.
They had the luxury of having Tom Brady, who could make, you know, a receiver like Aaron Dobson look really good.
Yeah.
But you can't do that the same way when you have, you know, somebody like Mac Jones. You know, he's not Tom Brady. You know, nobody's Tom Brady.
And I mean, even like, I think, not saying Tom can't do it, but like with the receivers we have now, it's like Kendrick Bourne's our best wide receiver. Devontae Parker is dropping these easy catches. It's tough, I know it was a deep ball, but like it was in his hands.
It's almost like the harder the catch, the better.
It doesn't make sense to me. Juju has been dealing with a knee injury and now he's concussed, so he's not playing. It's like they have the perfect storm of the wrong wide receiver core for them. Like they're just not ones anywhere there. There's nobody for Mac to reliably throw to. So it's not a successful formula. The running back's not doing anything. Yeah. The best receiver is Hunter Henry.
Yeah, Ramondre has been strong, but it's a whole unit. It's the whole unit, really.
I mean, it starts the O-line. O-line's hasn't been good, and it continues to not be good. So, I mean, if you're the Patriots, I would be as realistically as bad as possible, and my pick would be Marvin Harrison Jr. That would be me.
If he's there.
If if you can get as low as possible and he's there, like Caleb Williams is going 1.
Yeah.
More than likely, you know?
At this point.
I don't know if that's the Bears' choice, but maybe they trade a pick and that pick will get Caleb. Like that is coming.
Who even knows who will be? It seems the Bears got a good shot at that number 1 pick.
They have 2 shots at it, you know? Like
they're 2 of the worst teams. I think a lot of people would say they are the 2 worst.
Yeah,
so.
I mean it's tough. I would throw the Patriots in there.
Yeah. That bottom category.
It's like them. The Giants is in there for me. It's Broncos very much in there.
Yeah.
So it is tough. There's a lot of bad teams right now. Yeah. Who's gonna underperform the most every week? Like that's what it's gonna boil down to.
It. Yeah, we're at that point already. Really, the tank season is all season. You know.
I mean, when you have 1 win, you know you're not getting there.
Yeah.
6 weeks in the season. You need a better record.
I just want to throw it back. The Tank Bowl last year was very exciting.
Yes.
The Texans, oh my gosh, the way the Bears got that first pick was insane. That's what it's all about.
But like that can happen at any point this year. Like I'm not sure the rest of the Panthers schedule, but like some of those games are going to pop up. The Vikings played the Bears this week, and that is one of those discussions. Like, do the Bears think we realistically have to not win this if we want to bet? Like, same with the Vikings.
Thinking that way.
You don't think that, but like some teams I think are thinking that.
Well, yeah, but you got to think like Coach Eberflus isn't thinking that way because he's coaching for his job. He's gonna get fired.
I don't think a team goes into a week thinking that, but like I think later on in the season, like
that's what I mean.
Have to go back to that.
Like Eberflus, like the players, Fields got to play good or else he's gonna get replaced by.
But now he's hurt, and that's gonna be a discussion going forward too.
And like even the tanking, it's such a weird
it's a weird, and you don't always hit.
Yeah, I feel like you don't want to be thinking about tanking this early, but when you're the Panthers and you're 0-6.
So what about, like, here's the question: if you're the Panthers, why are you tanking? Like, is there a reason to when you don't have your first pick? So like I know they've been dealt a rough schedule in terms of who they're facing. Like, they're not going to win every game they have.
Yeah.
But, like, they have nothing to, like, tank for.
That's got to be a tough situation.
That is a
to be
really
honest.
bad
Like,
situation. And they traded that pick to get the guy they have now, and that hasn't changed anything.
I saw Frank Reich is he's not going to be calling plays going forward.
Really?
They're handing it off to OC. I forget the name, but
I mean, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, most teams need a play caller.
Yeah.
And the coach has a lot on their plate already. And I like Frank Reich.
Yeah.
I have liked him for a while, but yeah, that is a big responsibility you have to carry on.
I got to be honest. This is kind of feeling like one of those walls are kind of closing in type seasons. It does
Yeah.
not seem to be going well for the Panthers. They're about to
No.
probably unload some players at the deadline.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to imagine that, like, they have some good defensive players. I mean, I'm not sure
Burns.
Burns and Chin,
well,
like,
yeah.
those guys are going to be, and they're great talents. Any team would be very happy to get them.
Oh yeah.
So yes, I think that
Well,
trade
maybe that's how
deadline's
they
coming.
Get their first round pick back.
Maybe.
They need to do that.
But how many,
actually.
like, a lot of teams, like, trade deadline don't give up first round picks.
Right. It
Like,
would have
that
to
comes at
be-
the end of the season.
It would have to be almost like an injury type
Mhm.
situation where
Yeah. Team
needs
wants
a guy to
something.
fill in.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. And
Yeah.
I know there's a couple of teams out there that would like defensive help, and they have defenders. So
Yeah. No,
that could be
absolutely.
coming.
Absolutely. So who do you got winning the AFC South?
Man, I really liked the Colts odds. Like, I think they could have been sneaky, but no AR.
Yeah.
I think it's the Jags to lose still. But like for me, it's like the Jags, and like right behind them is now the Texans. Like, I
Right.
think they're knocking on the door. Where if they win a couple games that people aren't picking them to win, you never know. Like, this was a big one for them this week, beating the Saints.
Definitely. Like, who would have thought? I mean, they just have a good culture coming in.
They do, and like their defense is playing tremendous. Like D'Amico Ryans has
Yeah.
been great this year in terms of really building that up. And Stroud's looked, everything you could want for a rookie quarterback. So I mean, for them, like I think they're close, but I don't know if they'll have enough in the tank to get all the way there.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it's still the Jags. How about you?
I would have to agree there. On a 3-game winning streak now.
Mm-hmm.
2 London games, and then last week kept it going. Yeah, I mean, or did they have the bye? Did they have? No, they didn't.
No,
Have the
they
bye. Did
played.
play?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I mean, they're coming off beating the Bills and then a good solid
yeah,
win against the Colts division
they're on
game.
a tear. Yeah, they got the Colts.
Yep.
Yeah, they're better than the Colts. The Texans, that's a closer.
I think it's
race
those two
there.
teams. I think
Yeah.
the Titans don't have enough to
No.
compete yet.
The Titans are no good. The Titans need a new quarterback.
And they
desperately.
have 3 that I don't think anybody in the
right,
organization's really
I hate
considering.
that they have to just go through that now. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want no knock on Will Levis, but like,
So, considering what's been said about Malik, Will Levis is under Malik. Like,
Yeah.
in terms of depth chart, I think at some point we're going to have to see him play
he's gonna have
for them
to
to actually have this. But he has been underneath Malik Willis this whole time.
Yeah, and I just don't see Will Levis really performing that great in this system.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a tough system
just-
for his build.
just to succeed. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, the Titans just like, I don't know. Maybe.
I like Malik Willis. I like what he
Yeah.
brings. I just don't know if that's a team for him.
Yeah, Malik Willis looked very scared in the pocket, but they
Yeah.
didn't have
But-
he didn't have very much time.
That's the other thing. Like, now let's say he's not on their team next year.
Yeah.
There's gonna be open jobs, I think, next year for quarterback.
Yeah.
I know the Patriots are gonna be one. I have that feeling. I think that's a market that's open. I think the Giants are gonna look for a cheaper alternative
If
to
they
having
can't, yeah.
somebody there along with, like, at least for
Right,
competition
yeah,
reasons.
I don't even.
Atlanta, I think, is going to be at least looking.
Yeah.
I think the Commanders might be in the market.
Maybe in Dallas.
Dallas
Dak
might be in the
keeps
market. Like,
struggling.
there's a lot of teams I think that are in the market, or like
Yeah.
that might not necessarily just be like, we're drafting somebody and this guy's going to be like. There's a couple teams I think that aren't there yet.
Yeah,
So we'll see. There's going to be openings, I think, around the league.
absolutely. Some even the Cardinals. They're
Vikings?
interesting. Yeah.
Because if anything happens the way I think it might, I don't
Yeah.
think Kirk's going to be the guy next year there.
Yeah, they're gonna try. Is his contract up at the end of the season?
So it's up at the end of the season. He has a
Okay.
no trade clause that he's stamped he's not removing. So he
Okay.
will be a Viking the rest of the
the
year.
rest of this year.
At least going forward, he said he's not moving.
You would think they're gonna get something done unless it's the Vikings who say no.
Well, I think the Vikings are saying no.
Oh,
I think
okay.
they want to move on.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's a smart idea or not. I think Kirk's been playing great this year. And in my opinion, I think this has been kind of, a lot of people don't want to say it. Like, I had a discussion earlier, and this guy was not willing to admit it. But I think Kirk's top 10 right now.
Yeah.
And if you're the Vikings, I feel like he's giving you a good shot at winning going forward. But they have to booster up the defense. That's one of those teams that might call the Panthers.
Yeah, Kirk's gonna play well when there's no pressure in his face, and he's he'll give you some solid quarterback play. And he's a better option than most. Like, some may say limited, but he's the least of the Vikings' problems right now. I mean, their issues are on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, that's exactly like he's thrown a couple picks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna say he hasn't, but. Yes, the issues are defensively.
Like, secondary is pretty poor. They have some players, but they're not a good unit on defense. They're having issues protecting Kirk Cousins this year too.
Yeah.
They got to get those things shored up before they can, start thinking about a new quarterback, because they're gonna not be as good as Kirk Cousins. They're just not gonna be that
And
good.
I don't know if he has any input on this just yet, but Justin Jefferson is a guy who might have a strong opinion on what they decide to do.
Absolutely.
And he's going to be kind of tethered, I don't think he's got that new contract yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're not going to want him to walk.
Right.
They're going to offer as much money. No,
he's going to get like $35 million.
He's going to get, ridiculous numbers for a wide receiver.
Absolutely. And
well, how about this? NFC South.
Yeah.
Who do you think's winning that division? Because that's another toss-up that...
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, there's a couple good teams. It's probably the top two is the Saints and the Bucks, right? And then you got the Falcons
Falcons are fringe. I would they've won some games and they've lost some games.
And then the Panthers are
not. Yeah, they're out of the question.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints, I like them. They had a tough loss. Like, I think they're still a solid team. The Bucks, what were they doing? They were on.
They fought the Lions and they lost.
Yeah.
So I think, are they both 3-3 this week?
The Bucks are 3-2. They've had their bye
3-2.
already.
That's right. And the Saints are 3-3.
That sounds right.
And the Saints lost to the Bucks. So like, if we're looking right now, the Bucks, my opinion, I think the Bucks, are the better team right now. Like, they've been playing better.
Yeah, and the Falcons are right there.
I mean, they are right there. Yeah. It is a toss-up there, so what do you think?
Yeah, the Falcons, I mean, the Falcons seem like they're going to be very inconsistent, like they've kind of been over the years. They're probably going to be a little under 500, like an 8-9 type team, which maybe that wins this division.
You think?
Maybe.
I don't know if 8-9 wins this division.
I don't know. I'm not saying it will, but we'll just see how the season goes.
Yeah.
Like, these just seem like a lot of teams that are going to drop some games they shouldn't and then win some games they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. They seem all kind of mid. Like, there's been some good moments, like the Saints blowing out the Patriots was a big moment for that team.
For them,
Yeah, not for others. The Falcons, they haven't really had those.
They haven't had
that big moment, that big win. I mean, that win against the Packers was nice, but
it was a good comeback.
They beat the Texans and they beat
which
the
I will say, beating the Texans looks better now.
A good win for sure.
And the Texans have gone on to beat the Saints.
Yeah, but the Saints, like they've had those really nice performances, and the Bucks obviously beat the Saints. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's between the Saints. If I have to pick one right now. Saints, I guess.
I mean, it's a good team. They have an easier schedule. It's just how well they'll perform.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's going to be a toss up, I think, in that division.
Bucks losing 20-6 to the Lions is kind of like, I think that they might have an offense that struggles.
I don't know. I think that Lions defense is better than it's let on, and that's without C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah, I think it's just telling what we're gonna see from the Bucks when they're playing better defense. Is we're gonna see like a 6. That's no good.
That was a rough game, and Mike Evans, I don't think's really 100% yet. He can say he is, but he's coming back from the injury. We'll see.
Yeah, they got some work to do.
Yeah, they do.
We did some game picks
Yeah,
for next week.
let's do it. I do want to bring up the fact last week you won. This week
Not
so good. 5 correct.
Five
correct.
out of 14.
I think
That's
it's
terrible.
around there. To compare it, I had 12 correct.
That's
so
wild.
I mean, I
Like,
came
how
back
did- I
strong.
don't know how this even happened.
I mean, you were asking. I said save it, but
Yeah.
So I mean, we both got the Chiefs. We both got the Ravens. Both got the Dolphins. You picked the Saints wrong,
Okay.
so they lose. We both picked the Falcons, so those are wrong.
All right.
You took the Colts, and
Okay.
I brought up the
I don't
fact
know
they
why I
were in
did that.
Jacksonville, but
I don't care. Yeah.
you took the Seahawks against the Bengals,
that's a
which
tough
that was
one
a good game
beat.
for either team. Like they were defensive. We both took the Bears.
Okay.
So that was wrong. We both took the Niners.
Okay.
Also wrong. You took the Pats, which
I took
you
the
did
Pats?
take the Pats.
Wow.
Yeah. So you take the
Surprises
Pats.
me. Oh, the Raiders. Yeah.
You take the Bucks over the Lions. Like you called that as an upset,
Oh, really?
and that one did not
No,
fall.
not so much.
We both took the Rams, so you finally got one there.
Okay.
And then Eagles, both
Oh.
wrong again.
Yep.
And then Bills, you took the Chargers in the last one as well. So
Okay.
that culminates at 5. Let's hope you
Yeah,
can do a
let's
little
do
bit better
better
this
this
week.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It starts on Thursday.
It does start on Thursday. We got an interesting one. Jaguars and the Saints in New Orleans. It's those are two teams that I like don't remember ever playing. Like I can never remember a Jaguars Saints game. I don't know if you can.
Man, not in particular.
No.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't think
yeah.
they have many memorable moments.
No.
But I mean, coming into this one, I think momentum's on the side of one team and not the other. I mean, if Jacksonville plays the way they have been, I think they're in a good spot to win, even on the road. I'm gonna take the Jags.
The Jags. You know what I just realized? I don't know if you've ever seen the game where there was a bunch of laterals.
Yeah.
And then they had to do was kick the PAT. And he
Yes,
missed.
I
And
have
the
seen
commentator
that.
was like, no, Jaguars Saints.
Was it
Yeah,
really?
That was Jaguars.
All right, talk about
My
a
brain was turning a
historic-
little bit.
that
when I
is-
was
all right,
I
that
was
is
like,
a clip.
Jaguars Saints moment.
That is
Yeah,
a clip
this
I
is-
see online all the
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
just
that was-
because of the irony and the announcer just saying,
No!
"No, he missed it." Just like it's so, it's like it feels not real.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing should never happen to a team.
That just came to my brain. I was like, I think
Man,
there
oh,
might be
man.
one moment.
Yeah, that one is
Yeah.
the moment to have.
Absolutely.
So back to the
In terms
picks.
of the game, yeah.
Who you
man,
taking?
All right, so it's gonna be Lawrence. He might not play.
Mhm.
I'm not taking that chance. Like, give
Okay.
me the Saints here.
And this could also be one of those games we were talking about. The Saints got to win some they're not supposed to
yeah.
if they want to win the division. This could be
Yeah.
one of them.
home game,
Uh-huh.
short week. Get the boys going. The Jags are never gonna be an easy out, but you know
And that defense alone can still
Yeah.
probably win them games, whether
Yeah.
it's T-Law or not. But we'll
Absolutely.
see what T-Law we get.
Hey, maybe we'll get even CJ Beathard, and I can pick off an easy one.
That's
Get
and
the
I mean
week
it is
going.
possible.
Yeah.
It is possible.
Yeah, all right. I'll take the Saints.
Okay.
Falcons Bucks. It's our first of the 1:00 games. It's in
Okay.
Tampa Bay.
So this is another one where going down the line, if you want to win the division, you got to have
It's an
someone in the
important
division.
game.
For both teams, very
Mhm.
important. I like the Bucks going into this. I don't know what we're getting out of Atlanta at any week. And the same times for Washington, like those two teams, I never know what we're getting.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take the safer pick here and take the Bucks.
Yeah, I like the Bucks to take care of business here too. It's a home game, which is helpful.
Good bounce back game for them if they
Yeah.
play right.
Yeah, and the Falcons seem like they're like, I don't know. They strike me as a team that's kind of going to start to panic when things start to go wrong. And
Well, you did see Ritter's first home loss.
last
week.
So there you go. I mean,
This could be the panic button.
yeah, maybe he's going to start to lose. I don't know. I just don't like. They're a boring team. Bijan's cool.
I love Bijan.
Um,
He's gonna be one of the best running backs in the league for a good bit.
Yeah, it's nice. Kyle Pitts scored a touchdown, which was good for
Mhm.
him. They're getting Drake London involved
Yeah.
more. It's not like it's all bad for the Falcons.
Jonnu Smith's playing great.
Yeah. They're getting some good weapons. They're a work in progress,
Mhm.
but
I think the Bucks are more
they're
complete right now. Yeah.
Absolutely, they got a better defense, good unit. I like the Bucks there.
Okay.
Next game is the Raiders Bears at Soldier Field. I don't even know what to say here.
Yeah.
I feel like both these teams kind of suck.
Yeah.
To be completely honest.
And looks like it's going to be the battle of the backups. Depending on who starts for the Raiders, it won't be Jimmy G.
Yeah, we're going to get either Brian Hoyer or O'Connell if it's not Garoppolo.
I mean, if I'm a Raiders, exec here, I mean, O'Connell looked great in preseason, and he outperformed Jay Herbo in their matchup.
Yeah.
It's like when it comes to that, I mean, I'd rather see what I got with him than Brian Hoyer, who's not giving you anything new.
Right. Yeah, I would probably go with O'Connell over Hoyer.
I would too.
Hoyer's probably a good backup to bring in. And then the Bears will be coming in with Tyson Bagent.
No
probably
idea.
backed up by Nathan Peterman.
No way. I forgot Nathan Peterman.
They also signed Trace McSorley to their practice squad, so that's kind of fun.
Man, oh man. I saw him this preseason for the Pats. He is not good. He's not good.
Okay.
So don't expect him to throw it on a dime.
I'm hoping that he doesn't have to play.
Man, I would love to see Peterman suit up.
Yeah, a little
not
bit.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, it would be funny if Peterman could get in. A little bit on Bagent. He went to college.
Give me some history because I actually don't know anything about him.
All right, he went to a D2 school called Shepherd in West Virginia.
Okay.
He was a prolific Division II player, as you need to be if you're going to make the NFL. I don't know. There's not much to know. He looked good in the preseason. He was making a lot of pre-snap reads.
Okay.
He seems to read defenses pretty good. One thing that I noticed was it's tough to admit as a Justin Fields advocate, but he doesn't do much at the line of scrimmage in terms of making checks and reads. Like he will, obviously at times, but when Bagent came in the game, it was pretty right away.
Okay.
Sending guys in motion, trying to see his defense.
Is he a running guy or is he just stand in the pocket, sling it?
I'm guessing he's an athletic enough guy.
Okay.
He probably runs like a 4.7 or so, but
but he's not a scrambler in terms of Fields.
Ideally, probably not.
Okay.
He's more of he's a cerebral player.
Okay.
I think he's got a decent enough arm. He threw a duck, pretty bad interception to DJ Moore on a kind of a drive that could have been a game-winning one, but it was a good drive.
He came in and threw the ball more to DJ Moore than Fields did the entire. So I mean, I will give him props for that.
I think that this isn't necessarily a bad thing if you're a DJ Moore fantasy owner, believe it or not. Like a little nugget there.
I'm liking that.
Yeah, he'll deliver the ball. I would expect a 250-yard passing game from him, to be honest. Probably some turnover. There will be good plays and there will be bad plays. Probably an untimely turnover leading to a Raiders win would be my guess.
So you're taking the Raiders?
I'm taking the Raiders in a close game, though.
Yeah, I think I like the Raiders, too. I mean, I don't like the Bears' chances too much with Fields. I think without him, they don't stand much of a chance. Yeah. So I really like Fields, and they haven't been performing to where they have been. So I think with that, I'm taking the Raiders.
Right. I do expect a close game. I wouldn't be surprised if Bagent came out and did well. Keep an eye on it.
Then again, if it's Brian Hoyer starting, don't give any hope for the Raiders winning. I just can't see that. He's not turning the clock back at all.
Yeah, that's. I'm taking the Raiders, but Bears could definitely win that.
Yeah.
Browns Colts. That's probably a tough one here for Minshew.
Yeah, that defense has shown what they can do.
Confident Browns team.
I mean, if that defense shows up like they have been, and there are games where it's not as apparent, but they can take over the game.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's how it is with defenses sometimes. Sometimes they're dominant.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is a good defense.
You think they can rattle Minshew? He seems like a player that's kind of hard to get in his head a little bit.
I mean, he was rattled last week. If he throws 3 interceptions, they have no chance at winning that game.
Yeah, I think they rattle him for sure.
I think so too. Myles Garrett's on a tear.
Yeah, are we both taking the Browns?
Yeah, I'm in the Browns. It's tough to get behind the Colts just because of Gardner Minshew. He's unpredictable. He can win a game. That game against the Ravens was great. I give a lot of props to him for being able to beat them. But I just don't know. The Browns now have to ride momentum. And I don't know if Deshaun's coming back or not. Right. But P.J. Walker played good enough last week. If you're beating the 49ers, you have to ride some sort of momentum here.
Yeah, hopefully Watson can come back.
I mean, this has been like him saying he's not ready.
I want to see him go.
Doctors are clearing him. Like, I'm not sure what's going on here.
Because, like, honestly, I'm of the opinion that if Deshaun Watson can get going, the Browns are a real Super Bowl contender, honestly.
I mean, yes. I don't want to admit it because I'm not a fan of Deshaun, like, personally.
Right.
But what he's done in the past has shown that he can play football.
Yeah, I'm not saying I like him as a guy, but, like, if he could get going, and I've been saying for a while, the Browns add another wide receiver if possible. Check in on Hopkins. I know the Titans are struggling a little bit. Like, seriously check
Jerry
in on
Jeudy
Hopkins.
or Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
I know they're both on the table.
Yeah, I'm just saying with the old Texans connection, I mean, that was the best Deshaun Watson you ever saw.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
I mean, if you can get something like that going, I think it would be well worth it, and I think it would really improve their offense because they're not that running team. They have far too many injuries on the offensive line. Like, they're going to need to throw the ball. They don't have Nick Chubb. They're going to have to change their identity a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I said that right after the big injury to Chubb, but
yeah,
time to do that for the Browns if they wanted to, because there is the makings of a Super Bowl there, I think. Next game, though, is Commanders-Giants
oh, man.
in MetLife.
This is a brutal game.
I bet it'll be on all of our local TVs, too.
Yeah, I think so, over on the East.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the Giants have the better team, whether it's Daniel Jones or not. Like, I just, like, record-wise, it seems like it's the Commanders, but, like, they're so inconsistent, and the Giants aren't, like, that good, but their defense looked amazing against the Bills on primetime. Like, I mean, like, if they show up like that, it's going to be hard for them to move the ball. And, I mean, Saquon started to look back to form in, like, the fourth quarter. I mean, the O-line was playing pretty good for Tyrod, you know? I mean, it was like, I've watched a lot of these Giants games because they're all primetime, and it's like, damn, like, this O-line's just a mess. They looked better this week.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to take the Giants.
That's crazy. Like, I never take the Giant.
Yeah.
I never
don't
take the Giant.
I think I took them one time, and it was against the Cardinals.
But in this case, the Commanders, you know, they had a good game against the Falcons. The Commanders could come in here and win. But
they could.
It's a tough one to call. But
this one's a tough throw, and it's divisional. Like, divisional plays a role every time.
The Giants are probably a better team. Like, I think the Giants actually win this game. I think I'm going to take them. But teams that have good defenses and bad offenses are the hardest teams to watch.
Well, I mean,
like,
you're just watching slow games every time. Like,
every
not
week.
one team is going to score.
Right.
It's slow. It's maybe a field goal affair.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, we've seen it. The Giants have struggled to score this year, and their defense has done okay. You know, some games better than others, but
like I guess to put an example, like these Bears teams right now are more watchable than what they were putting out in like 2020.
Yeah.
Even though they probably had, 9-win, 8-win seasons in those teams, they were boring games.
I mean, like, I agree.
16s.
Like, I'm looking at the Pats. I mean, it's been since Brady's left.
Situation.
You know, you're watching these, like, just mediocre games where you can't even put up 20 most of the time. And, like, even if you're winning something, like that game against the Jets that they actually won, wasn't a fun one to watch.
Right. It's
like,
10-15.
It's so
It's just
slow.
no fun. It's no fun. And that's how the Giants win when they do.
It is. So, I mean, it might be a boring game for that. I mean, they could have won this week. I mean, if the ref threw the flag again, like it was. But, yeah, I think the Giants come back a little. Like, I feel like they have something there right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's enough to get them to where they want to be, which is probably the playoffs. But it's a road that is going to be difficult to follow up on. But they might have the makings right now.
Yeah, I was just looking up the weather for it. It looks like it's going to be sunny for that one. I was going to say it just seems like a rainy one. But, yeah, who knows?
Predicting the weather. It just
it
suddenly
just
rains.
Seems like it's going to rain that day. Giants win a snoozer, I think.
Okay.
Lions, Ravens.
Ooh, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, that's an interesting game. It's a test for the for the Lions going to Baltimore and win a game.
I think it's actually more of a test for the Ravens because they've been struggling against a couple of these teams. And if they want to say, hey, we're the team to beat in the AFC North, they're gonna need this one.
Yeah, they're gonna need to beat the Lions.
Who's a juggernaut right now in the NFC.
This is a test for the Ravens, but man, the Lions, they have something to prove here.
Yeah.
I mean, who have they beat? You know, they lost to the Seahawks.
They beat the Chiefs. You
They
know,
beat the
their only
Chiefs.
losses to the
That's
Lions. I mean, like I think the Lions, like their game, they defensively just they put a beating on the Bucks. Like they gave up 6 points. That's it. They were able to move the ball. Jameson Williams finally got his first touchdown this year. St. Brown had a great run. Like it was like that was an all around, you know, victory for the Lions.
Yeah.
And they are playing great.
Oh, definitely. I see this kind of game as like a litmus test for the season for them.
This is a tougher team for them to face.
Like, because it's like playoff type competition. You
Yeah,
know, this
definitely.
is a playoff game.
Yeah.
You know, not that they will because they're in different conferences, but you'd run into a team like the Ravens on the path to a Super Bowl.
And
so.
same nod to the Ravens.
Yeah,
Lamar hasn't been
exactly.
playing to the level they want
Right.
from him.
Need
He
to bounce
doesn't look
back.
anything like the MVP year he had. The turnovers are really bad. And that's being said, he played a good game in London. I thought it was cleaner for them.
Yeah.
The Titans aren't that good. Like they're a team, but they're not that level. So the Lions is a good test for them. And
Definitely.
this is going to be a game to watch.
Yeah. Who you taking here?
I like the Lions. It's hard for me to pick against them. I really it's going to take a hard game for me to say against them. Right now, they're proven that they are a top team.
Definitely. I think the Lions are a tough team, but I just think they slip up here. I think the
Okay.
Ravens, I think they have a good defense. I think they're just formidable. I think it's a tough game, hard fought. Both teams put up some points, you know.
Yeah. I think this might be the game of the week.
Yeah, it's gonna probably total score will be like 62 or something, but
Yeah, it could be.
but I think the Ravens win a close one.
Okay. Justin Tucker, game winner?
Yeah, maybe. You know, who knows? Probably. That's
Hey,
how it
remember the
goes.
last time these two teams played, it was actually more of a snooze fest.
Yeah.
And Justin Tucker hits his game
Right,
winner.
that 66
record
yarder.
setting.
Who could forget?
That was, I mean, and that was at a time where the Lions weren't,
Yeah.
you know, what they are right now. So I mean, we could be
Right.
we could be for more of an offensive game, like you said, and it could be decided like that.
Right. And now as if things couldn't get worse for the Patriots, they have to play the Bills. They hosting them.
I'm gonna take this real quick.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Bills.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like the Bills are better.
Right.
Like they struggled last week. Like they've had these up down swings where like they struggle, maybe they win, maybe they lose, but like they bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if it's not Josh Allen, like I just like they should play pretty well against us, even at like Gillette. Like the Pats aren't good right now,
Yeah,
and
they're
I'm not touching them with a 10-foot pole, especially against the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills' offense has been struggling. You know, maybe like Belichick puts up a fight here a little bit, just given the Bills'
They've had
recent
some they've
struggles.
had some competitive games in the 3 years with
yeah.
Mac, but I mean, like it's just not. I don't see them really being able to do much. Like this should be another blowout.
Right.
It really should be.
Yeah, I don't know if I see a blowout here. Just because I don't know, the Patriots kind of keep these ones close. I'm just kind of thinking back to what the Patriots even were last year in some of their games with the Bills, and I know it's
0-2.
different
They
team.
were 0-2. I
Yeah.
mean, we're worse right now. I
Right.
mean, defensively we're hurt, and offensively it's not there. It's
Yeah.
pretty much just like we scored I think one touchdown in the first when we were at Gillette and we played them. We scored one touchdown. I know that, and maybe a field goal or two. We did not put up a lot compared to their. I think they had near 30. Like they scored the ball.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm taking the Bills, but I'm just wondering if the Patriots put up a fight. I don't know. Not a real fight, but like a
yeah.
10-point game.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't see a fight coming out of them.
All right.
Yeah, I don't. I just don't. Maybe one rush touchdown, but I just don't see a big one.
Yeah. Cardinals, Seahawks in Seattle.
Yeah, is this their first? I think this is their first time playing
think
this
so.
year.
Seems a little lopsided.
Yeah, the Cardinals have really been suffering as of late. They've dealt some injuries too. I just like the Seahawks. They gotta get good bounce back win from the Bengals game, and the defense has looked really good these past couple weeks. I like the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's funny how people were really high on the Cardinals after beating the Cowboys, but that seemed to have completely faded
Well,
away.
like they had a good game. They had a good
Yeah,
game against the
definitely.
Commanders, and they had a good game against the Giants in parts. So it's like it wasn't hard to imagine them playing
Yeah.
well, but as of late, they haven't been playing as well. And these are divisional games.
Yeah.
Like the Rams put a hurting on them last week, back to back. Seattle.
right.
They've had their number a couple times.
Right.
I like Seattle
Oh,
this week.
Seattle all day.
Yeah.
Seattle's a complete team. They play pretty
Yeah.
hard for Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll's a great coach.
Yeah,
Man. He knows how to
absolutely.
put them in winning situations.
Yeah, both in agreement there with the
Yep.
Seahawks, Steelers, Rams in LA.
Steelers Rams. This one's gonna be good. I think. Is this in the 4 o'clock window?
Yes.
Okay, so this one's going to be one to watch. I like the Rams here. Cooper Kupp back looking like Cooper Kupp again. Puka Nakua is just a great side piece to have there. I mean, I just think the offense is going to start clicking for them, even against a good defense. I'm not like crazy high on the Steelers still. Like they've done some games that I haven't predicted well, but I like the Rams here, and I'm not a big Rams guy, but McVay is a great coach too. He knows how to put them in situations.
Yeah, no, I agree. Rams are probably the better team here. Steelers are coming off the bye.
That's true.
Had some good energy after their big win against the Ravens. Maybe got some momentum going between Pickens and Pickett.
I think they need Deontay Johnson back.
They do. Is
he
has
cleared?
been activated, so now he's in
Good
the
for
practice
him.
window.
Good for him.
He has 21 days to become active.
Yeah. I think they do need him just because he's such a great wide receiver alone, but you need playmakers to help against these kind of teams.
Yeah. So Deontay Johnson can come back, and that'll be helpful.
Mhm.
Hopefully Pickett can get going. Did you take the Steelers here, or did you take?
No,
the Rams?
I'm taking the Rams.
Okay. Yeah, we're pretty much even. We're picking all the same.
We
teams.
have two differences so
We
far.
do.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's this week I feel it's been more lopsided
Yeah,
games almost.
It does seem that way. I think the Rams keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe motivated by the 49ers loss.
That's
they
true.
think
I
the
mean,
division
there
is in
could be an
reach.
there could be an opening.
Yeah. Chargers, Chiefs, and Arrowhead. Chargers are just going through it.
Yeah, they are. I'm not a fan of the Chargers at all. I've said that many a times. I'm not high on really anything in that organization in terms of like the offense is good, but
Yeah.
like they're not delivering enough, I guess, for teams to win.
Well, they have a fan.
That was something.
Yeah.
Right? Like that.
You
That
think that's a
felt-
plant?
Yeah.
She was on the McAfee.
I
show
saw
today,
that.
man.
Like, what was up with that? And how do they get her information that
Yeah, I
fast?
know.
Like, I get she was on the internet. Like, she was on everybody's feeds.
Yeah.
And I don't know who she is, Marianne or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
It seemed really weird.
It was a little weird.
And I mean, we're talking about the Chargers fan base that gets made fun of a lot for not
Yeah.
having a strong fan base. It's like that
I
seemed
wouldn't be
forced.
surprised.
They showed her how many times? Like it was
Yeah,
it was
a lot.
multiple times.
Yeah.
For me, like I wasn't a fan of that. Like I feel like if you're gonna show
was weird.
fans, like
Yeah,
you
like,
gotta
maybe
make
give
it
a
sporadic.
variety.
That seemed forced.
Yeah.
Like Taylor
absolutely.
Swift's in the game, they're showing her
I just
8
don't know how it
times.
started. I mean, how did it even start? Like,
I'm not sure. I wasn't watching the game
Yeah, I
like
wasn't
that,
either.
but they showed her a lot.
Yeah.
And it was weird seeing her on Pat McAfee show. That's weird.
Yeah.
Like that seems forced.
Yeah. I don't think she's gonna be enough for the Chargers. this week. I think the Chiefs are gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna
they
be
have
in
their own,
agreement here. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Imagine though that both Taylor and that fan are in attendance. They'd be competing for who's gonna get more camera
So
looks.
is it in Kansas City or is it
yeah,
in?
it's in Kansas City.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like if they show her at another game, I think that would be pretty interesting in terms
Yeah.
of like if she goes to the Chiefs game, that's a prop. You
Yeah.
know, there's no way. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Yeah.
What the intention would like that's the only argument why, you know, is it just showing that the Chargers have a fan?
I don't know.
Is
I
there
don't
some
know.
sort of female engagement they're trying to
It's
reach
just-
now?
yeah,
Like
I
I don't know if there's anything political in that decision,
I don't
but
know.
it did seem forced.
Who knows what their motives
No,
are?
but I think we're both in agreement here. The
Yeah.
Chiefs are the better team here.
Definitely. Packers Broncos. That's a
Ooh, this makes me feel good because I have I was having doubts about starting Goff this week, and
Oh.
now I get to start Jordan Love very happily.
Definitely.
Give me the Packers. I am not a fan of what the Broncos are doing.
Yeah.
And Packers kind of get to regroup after their bye week. I think it's much needed. Not usually you want an early one, but I think right now it was the perfect time for them.
Yeah, teams are just teeing off on the Broncos. This if Jones is healthy, this could be a good week to get him going. But I'm just imagining A.J. Dillon could do some pretty bad things to that Broncos.
The running
defense.
games against the Broncos have
Yeah.
been really like Brees
yeah.
Hall went off.
Yeah.
I mean the whole Bears
Yeah, the
went
Bears
off on
had a
them.
really
Like it was
easy time.
just like these teams have flourished against the Bears defense, which isn't something you'd expect coming
Yeah.
in. Like their defense was top 10 last
It
year.
was expected. To be
So
bad, but-
I like the Packers this week. They can
Definitely.
use a big win here.
yeah, I like the Packers too. I mean, they've been kind of a inconsistent and kind of a weak team, to
Yeah.
be honest. But
They can put up points.
yeah, like they're better than the Broncos.
Yes.
The
Yeah, they are.
Broncos are. Maybe the Broncos put up a little fight. Russ throws like
cooks?
2 touchdowns, and
Russ is cooking this game.
I don't know. Maybe he'll like average like 6.5 yards an attempt or something.
I'm not gonna looking at these. It's gonna be a good week of football. I think.
Yeah, no.
Like
those are
we're
good
kind of
games.
in agreement for a lot of these, but I think they can go either way,
Oh,
and
yeah,
it will be
no,
good week
yeah,
of
you
football.
never know. Just because like I got 5 right last.
Last week was a good week. Like
Yeah.
I was blown away. but
Yeah.
yeah.
Dolphins, Eagles, and a little Sunday night.
Sunday night. This
Like,
this is
finally.
a prime time
We've
game.
been asking for it. Like,
This is a prime time game. I'm very excited for.
yeah.
Eagles coming off a loss, first
Yeah.
time this year. Dolphins coming off a win. Man, those Dolphins, man, offensively, like, what can they do wrong?
Yeah, that's a hard one. I mean, the Eagles, they got a good defense, a good front. I don't know if the Dolphins have faced anything like that. It'll be interesting to see them try to like zone block, and the Eagles.
It
are
will
like,
be
you know, like-
interesting.
yeah,
I mean,
that's
so
just
they've
a-
lost to the Bills, so obviously that's a factor. I don't like the Eagles, man. Like they're a good team, but can they outscore? Like that's my question. Like, can they outscore and stop the Dolphins
Yeah,
enough for the Eagles to do enough? They can score. Don't get me wrong. I think they'll be okay against the Miami defense, which isn't that bad.
Yeah.
But can they outscore the Dolphins? Is
Right.
going to be the big question.
right. That's tough. I don't know.
This is a tough one, and this is what makes it a great primetime game that
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are watching. This has potential Super Bowl
Right.
written all over it.
Oh, definitely. That would be a good Super Bowl.
Yeah,
This game could go a couple ways. Like I think either team could run away with this. I think that the Eagles are gonna dominate the Dolphins up front. But I could see them like not very well. But I think the Eagles do well here.
yeah,
And I think they win.
okay.
I just think that they're a little stronger, a little bigger, and I think that the big boys beat the fast boys here.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement, and I was like afraid of this, like afraid of agreeing on this kind of
Yeah.
game. But like, I just like the last time we had this discussion, it was Bills versus Dolphins.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I think the Bills more complete in terms of they know
Yeah.
how to win. I don't know if the Dolphins have had enough of these tests yet where they are ready for it. This is a huge one. This is the former NFC champs. And I think I just like the Eagles more. I
Yeah.
think they know how to win. And I think they kind of want to avenge last week in terms of that game just wasn't theirs. Like Jalen Hurts played really bad, and he needs to have a redemption week. Their defense gave it up at the end in terms of just not being able to stop them. I think the Eagles get one back here.
Yeah, I am in agreement there. And then our Monday night game is kind of interesting. It's the 49ers are playing the Vikings in Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't think it's as much of a debate, but I do think this will be more of an interesting game.
Yeah.
I like the Niners. Like I've said, I don't know how many times I'm going to pick against them this year. I like the Niners. I will say last week's Monday night game was better than expectations. It was close. It was defensive. But I like this week's primetime games a lot more than what we have been seeing. And I know these schedules are made way before the season starts. Like
Right.
these aren't made,
No.
just like it's usually just names. They're doing 4 headlines.
Right.
But this week seems really good.
Yeah,
Niners,
no, I
yeah.
like the Niners here for sure. Hopefully they get McCaffrey back. They can get their offense going. The Vikings aren't that great on defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll probably. I was like trying to imagine like the Vikings, but they don't have Jefferson.
No Jefferson. I mean, like as much as I like Kirk, I just don't know
Yeah.
how well. I mean, we're talking prime time. This is his fear.
Yeah, it's a tough week. I just don't.
Yeah.
I think the Niners are too much for him.
Yeah, they also are going to look for a bounce. Like a lot of these teams are bounce back teams where they kind of have to. They can't go in a slump, especially the Niners. Like Niners and Eagles and Lions, all three of those teams are vying for the 1 seed.
Yeah.
You only get one to get that week off at the end of the year. So I mean, every game counts, and the Niners are hoping they get healthy enough that it's not a problem, not an issue. So yeah, I like the Niners, and I think they'll be able to put up numbers.
Gotcha.
Yeah, speaking of postseason, though, I know that's down the road, but baseball, full swing right now. The MLB playoffs.
Yeah, NLCS is and the ALCS are going. The Phillies are leading 1-0 against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Man, Phillies look good.
They do.
They look
They're
real
fun.
good.
They're a fun baseball team. Bryce Harper, Trey Turner,
Kyle Schwarber.
Castellanos.
Yeah.
It's just a fun team.
Yeah, I like the Phillies. They've looked really good. They just made a statement in that first round.
Absolutely.
And it looks like they're carrying it. They're out for revenge for last year. They came so close. But then you got the AL side. I mean, kind of the story I wanted to bring up. AL East had 3 teams make the playoffs. Not a single win came out of them.
That's crazy.
It is crazy because that was touted the division of baseball.
Yeah, they were all year.
The 2 teams that didn't make the playoffs, being the Red Sox and Yankees, are 2 very talked about teams in baseball, and they were bested by these other 3 and not a win, which I don't think anybody saw, at least not a win.
Yeah, the Rangers are undefeated in the postseason.
And the Rangers also look really good this year.
Yeah.
Former Red Sox Nate Eovaldi is pitching out of his mind.
Yeah.
I love to see it for him.
Seems like they're gonna keep it going. Could it be a Rangers Phillies thing going?
So I think that's my pick for what
Right.
the World Series looks like. I think America is rooting for Texas at the moment.
Yeah.
The hatred for the Astros runs deep for everybody.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, you don't want a team cheating.
No.
So I mean, I am hoping it's Texas Phillies, and I mean, what a matchup that will
Yeah,
be.
that will be fun. Good for baseball. I feel like
Yeah.
it's been a pretty good season for the MLB.
Yes, it has. I think it's been a good postseason for the
Yeah.
MLB. A lot of names I think have really started to come up in terms of like superstar status,
Oh, yeah, it's
and they
good for
needed
Bryce
that.
Harper.
Bryce Harper's
Definitely.
stocks are way up right now.
Yeah. There's no player I can think of that's been more up and down.
Yeah, right. So I mean, he's had a roller coaster of a
Yeah,
career.
definitely.
He's one of the best to do it in our generations,
yeah.
and he is looking for a ring to kind of solidify that.
It's crazy. He's only 31. I mean,
Yeah, he's been
I mean,
around for years,
yeah,
man.
He really has.
So what's your pick for the winner?
I'm rooting for the Phillies. Man.
Yeah.
I want the Phillies to win. I think they're fun. People going. I don't know, and I feel like it's Philadelphia's time. A lot of momentum in the city.
Yeah, I mean, Philly came close so many times in any sport last year.
Yeah.
I think the Phillies were the closest they've gotten, and I mean, I do think they can win it. I just like Texas more.
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for Texas.
Yeah.
I really am. They've had a great year, and they're continuing to play well. I mean, undefeated in the postseason.
Yeah, I like
really
Schwarber.
tough.
I like Schwarber.
I love
He's
Schwarber.
my guy.
Yeah, he's a great player.
I thought it was fun. I remember he tore his ACL. My friend texted me. He was like, "Guarantee you, Schwarber's not gonna get a hit." He was like, "I bet you $5 million when he tore his ACL."
Yeah.
And then he did in the World Series. And I was like, "Pay up."
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Nuts,
Schwarber's
man. He is a cool player, man, and he's a yard guy. This dude hits it
he
deep.
rakes. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, one note I want to make outside of baseball, though, Damon Giannis touched the court for the first time together.
I got the opportunity to see a little bit of that game.
Man, they look
One
good.
Jab step with Lillard.
Yeah.
And
That's a
gosh.
scary duo.
And
Like
that's just
watching
so
them
much
play.
scoring on one side.
How
Oh
do
my
you
God.
guard either one of those?
No, you don't. I mean, that team's gonna have games where they're putting up like 150 because they
You
got
think?
Middleton too.
Yeah,
I mean that's
yeah.
just very very good offense. There might be some off nights, but it's even like
Yeah.
all right, Lillard isn't feeling. That's not very common that he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's not feeling it. But then it's like
Still Giannis.
you have Giannis who's probably getting used on 35-40% of the possessions.
That team, like, I know it was just preseason, and every team isn't like judged off preseason.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, seeing them on the court together was kind of like,
seeing
man,
Lillard,
that's
it made me,
going to be
like,
a duo this year
yeah.
that you're watching all year.
I agree. Actually, seeing them on the court made that.
Yeah,
feel
it was a
bit
little more
real.
surreal.
Yeah.
I have my doubts and hesitations still, but like they really are
That's
acclaimed for the
tough,
title.
man. Lillard and
Yeah.
like those are like, I mean, two of the top scorers in the whole league.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not like they score in different ways. Like you
Mhm.
can run a pick and roll with
Dame
them.
has said the pick and roll is going to be
Oh
the
my
hardest thing for them
gosh.
to stop.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, 'cause
Like who do you
guard?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and then you also, because then you have big old Brook Lopez in the corner.
Yeah.
Then I don't worry about him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Middleton's a good scorer in his own right. And
Yeah, I mean, I think they still have Jay Crowder there too.
yeah, Crowder for defense.
They definitely like. I don't think they have like the deepest teams.
yeah.
But I mean, like, they're going to be a hard team to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if their defense will match what they bring offensively. Like, Brook Lopez is good at the rim. Giannis is good, too.
Losing Drew Holiday is going to
Like,
be a
that,
big
I
hit
mean,
for
if
the
they're going to give
perimeter.
up a lot of three balls, if a team gets hot against them, they are going to score.
Yeah, but my thought on this is like you don't really win in the NBA by like it's like, oh, you're gonna beat the Nuggets because you have a good perimeter defender. Like, no,
I don't know. Like,
you got to outscore them. I think. You know?
yeah, but you do need a perimeter defender
do.
to stop. I mean, like, look at Golden State. Like, what
Yeah.
they've been
Oh,
so
that's true.
successful in is shooting the three ball. And once they shoot it enough, you just become out of reach. Like,
Right.
it's some of those games get decided by that.
Yeah, they do seem to have issues with their depth. They
Yeah.
have Malik Beasley.
Yeah. I like him, but he's not in his prime anymore.
Connaughton.
Yeah,
athletic.
Connaughton's another guy. He's older.
Yeah.
I believe the Bucks have the oldest team in the league.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I believe they are the
30-year-olds
oldest, yeah.
Here. Yeah, they might have some depth issues for sure. Definitely some perimeter defense issues.
Yeah.
But they have like Giannis and Brook. Like they're not gonna. They kind of just like moved their. I don't think they lost any.
No,
talent.
I don't
It's
think it was
just-
crazy, and I like they will be a team to watch
Yeah.
all year, regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like I think they might go for 60.
Oh yeah. the
I
Bucks,
think
absolutely.
you know my like weird like pick this year is the Celtics and Bucks go for 60 plus wins.
that could very well happen. I mean, they
Like,
only
that-
play
it's-
each other a handful of
Yeah,
times.
right,
They're probably
like,
gonna
it's-
dominate the
It's
conference.
gonna be like those two teams are my 1A 1B, and like the
Yeah.
Nuggets
Yeah.
also are gonna be like I think they're my shoe-in still for the West. Like they're just the same team. And then it's like you get the Suns and Warriors in there. Like you get teams in there that I think are gonna throw their hat in the ring, but it's gonna be a fun season.
Oh, definitely. I just wanted to pull up the odds for the Eastern Conference right now because they're kind of interesting.
It's close. I think the Celtics took it back
Yeah,
when they got Drew.
they're both plus 180
Okay,
on
they're even.
DraftKings. And the reason I bring it up, it's like that is so low
Yeah.
preseason. Like
Yeah.
you have two teams that are like that, and then the third team is plus 750.
I'm not taking the Sixers
No.
to win much. I mean, they have so much drama they're dealing
Yeah, but
with.
that's crazy. The
It
third
is
team
crazy.
Is like no, and then
Yeah.
the Cavs are plus 1,000. Heat
Cavs
plus 1,100.
I
The
love the Cavs team.
reigning East champions
But yeah.
is plus 1,100. If you want that, Bulls plus.
I think the Heat are
75.
much worse this year.
Yeah, definitely.
They needed a star to help. And
Yeah, they didn't get it.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be the 1 seed against them at the 8 seed or whatever. Like I don't know where they line up this year, but like that they're a tough playoff team. They just got to get there.
Yeah, they always kind of come alive during playoff
Jimmy
time.
Butler in the playoffs is something else.
Yeah, they're getting older. Butler's 34.
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry's 37.
Kyle Lowry isn't really the same player anymore.
Udonis Haslam's 43.
He didn't retire.
I don't know. I saw him on
Man,
the roster.
I swore he retired.
I thought he retired.
He
too.
might be coaching right there
Yeah.
for them, but that's ridiculous if he
I
isn't.
know. I don't think he's on the roster.
Yeah, I was hoping not. But yeah, I don't know. They've come close the last 2 years. Last 5, I mean, they've been to the finals, twice, 3 times? Like,
Yeah.
they've been there. They just haven't gotten it done. And this year, I don't see much more out of them. I mean, they're not a regular season team either.
Yeah, they didn't really make any additions this
Yeah.
offseason.
I mean, they
didn't-
finished 7 seed, lost the play-in to get to the 8th seed. Like, they're not, like, I don't see them winning the East.
Hopefully they if they make the playoffs, they could probably win a series or something.
Could. I mean, I have the Celtics being the 1 seed. I don't want them at the 8.
No,
it's not
the
a
team
fun
you wanna
matchup.
play.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the Celtics, if you're the Bucks, if you're even the Phillies, your matchup that you want is probably a Brooklyn or trying to think what other teams really can sneak in that are like.
It's hard to say in the East, really.
I mean, the Cavs. I like the Cavs. I like the Knicks. I think those two teams are going to be up there. I'm not sure. I don't know where they place, and I think maybe one of these weeks we should kind of do a prediction of the standings.
We should
I think
do
that'd be fun.
Prediction breakdown because I don't know.
It's a lot to go into. Yeah, Raptors could be pretty good.
Pacers, they're probably getting it going a little more.
Yes, you never know what the Hornets can bring.
Yeah, the Hornets are interesting. The Bulls, I don't think so.
I'm not sure. I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
So I mean, that might be a discussion for another week. But I'm very excited.
Yeah. I think that's gonna wrap it up for episode 7, Blowout Sports Podcast. Thank you for joining. I'm Ryan Hayes.
I'm Dylan Bracha.
See you next time.